canceled all of your credit cards. I took every damn dime out of the bank. I know you wrote a check to that funeral home.
Oh, Richard.
It's gonna bounce.
Richard, you are not this man.
You don't know the man I am like I didn't know the liar you are.
They are not gonna bury him without that money.
Get it from his daddy.
Richard!
You heard me.
Wow. I mean, Oval fans, that was one of the scenes that had me going, whoa, 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 on Tuesday night. All right, welcome to the channel, everyone. If you are new, please hit that subscribe button. Or maybe if you are a frequent viewer, but you haven't hit subscribe, what's wrong? Help a brother reach his goals of hitting 1 million subscribers, so hit subscribe. Also, give this video a thumbs up. Hit the bell notification icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post new content to the channel, because yet again, why the hell would you want to miss when I post new stuff? The Oval just kicked up again. Sisters only has a handful of episodes before the season 2 finale next month. Basically in a couple of weeks from now, we got both the premiere of Delilah on OWN as well as season 2 of Ruthless coming to BET Plus. So once again, if you don't want to miss out, subscribe and hit that bell. And to round things out, go ahead and follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. I also need to put it on my to-do list to create a Facebook group for Delilah. The Oval Facebook group is doing pretty well. It's not as blowing up as the same speed as Sisters, but I do have an Oval Facebook group. So if you want to discuss the Oval with fans outside of just Tuesday night or just on Twitter, join the Facebook group. We're closing in on 18,000 members. So yet again, go ahead, follow me on social media. Now, you just saw Richard breaking it down. I canceled all your credit cards. That's fine. I took every dime out of the bank. That's fine. And I know about the check you wrote to the funeral home. What? It's going to bounce. But they won't bury it without the check. Get it from his daddy. The question I'm asking you, do you think Richard is being petty? Do you think Richard is wrong? What do you think? I mean, I honestly don't know how I would react in that situation. I mean, we know that Richard and Picky didn't have the best relationship as quote unquote uncle and nephew. This is obviously the relationship dynamic they had prior to Richard finding out the truth about the affair and whatnot. That Picky was actually Nancy's son, not, her sister's. So I feel like the reason that Richard's doing what he's doing, it isn't because he doesn't give a damn about Picky. It's the fact that he has every right, and he was honestly betrayed by his wife. So, just listen to the last line he said, get it from his daddy, get it from his father. So I feel like Nancy will most likely reveal who Picky's father is, if for no other reason than to have a bit of leniency from Richard in order to bury him. Because look at it this way. Nancy is like the main reason they really don't have money in their savings, because I think this was mentioned last season after Richard got shot and he was in the hospital and he was trying to get out of the hospital as soon as possible, not just to check on Barry, but he knew that they didn't have the money to, have him staying up in there for several days to recover. He needed to get home immediately, because turns out, yes, Picky is Nancy's son, but she passed him off as her sister's son, and each month she would give her sister quote unquote child support / hush money. So the facade of Picky being her child would be what everybody believed, as opposed to him being Nancy's son. So Richard never found out. So remember, Richard was at war, Nancy stepped out on him, ended up pregnant, passed off Picky as the nephew, not son, and Richard found out, and here we are now. In a way, I could see Richard being mad, because it's like he unintentionally was taking care of Picky without even knowing it. Because remember, as far as I can tell, Nancy has just been, like a homemaker, stay-at-home mother, wife and whatnot, while Richard was the one working, as the butler. I think we learned towards the end of season 1 that Barry doesn't have a quote unquote official job. He just does like odd jobs around the neighborhood and whatnot and gets paid for them. So yeah, it's safe to say that Richard was indeed paying money for Picky's upbringing without knowing it. But based off the way Nancy's sister is and how Picky turned out, it's not like he had the best stable home environment. So basically, it's kind of messed up when you think about it, because Nancy literally gave Picky over to her no good sister, resulting in Picky living the life that he did and ultimately dying the way he did. So it's almost like you threw your own son to the to the wolves just to cover up your own affair / pregnancy. Now that I think of it from that perspective, Nancy is a terrible person. But at the same time, Richard said that when Barry was younger, Picky was pretty much like his son in a way. But then when Picky got older and started choosing the street life, he really didn't want anything to do with him. And, he didn't want Barry and Picky hanging around together because Picky would be a bad influence. So that's pretty much, where Richard, had a chip on his shoulder because Picky was tainting his only son. And I think somebody in the comments on my, was it my episode review? They were like, yeah, it's like, I don't know the right title either, but I think that means Richard is kind of like Picky's stepfather or whatever the terminology would be. So yeah, it's almost like, Richard did what he could to an extent, but at the same time, Picky gonna do what Picky gonna do. So I think at the end of the day, Richard will probably come around. And once again, I'm not going to sit up here and say Richard is wrong for what he's doing. But at the same time, I do agree with Nancy saying this isn't the man this isn't a man, I know you to be, I know you are. And then Richard's like, well, I didn't know you were the liar that you are to me. So I think he's going to cool off eventually. And remember, Barry's locked up. We don't know for how long, so it's just going to be these two in the house. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think Richard is just being petty? Do you think he's going to cool down? Do you have any issue with what Richard is doing? Do you think he has every right to be upset? Because, well, I mean, again, I know Nancy, this is your son and all, but at the same time, Richard is out of work. He has been it has been said he's going to get his job back, but he still needs to recover. You're on limited income. I think, Sharon did get back together with Barry, so she's still living under the house, so she's still going to help out with bills and all, but not spending money on a funeral like that. Come on now. I'm going to guess it was like a few $1,000s. I don't know how much it cost, but I'm like, it is kind of messed up just taking all that money that your husband worked for. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's like you did all this to cover up your own lie. Yeah, this is a tough one. I honestly don't know where to stand. It's like the more I think about it, the worse Nancy looks. Whereas I'm like, well, Richard, he ain't wrong. Cause I remember tweeting it out. It's like, what are you gonna do? Drag me out of here? You ain't that kind of man. And I tweeted out, I'm like, Nancy, you better watch out. You better hope Richard doesn't pull a Charles from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Charles. Okay, I'm done. All right, guys. Well, if you want to donate to the channel, and, I'd really appreciate it if you do. Remember, I'm trying to put more money towards the house. Feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App. And if you want to just join Patreon, feel free to do that for as little as $1 a month. And with that being said, thanks so much for tuning into the channel. And we'll see what happens with Picky. I honestly don't know. Too bad.